Hello. Thanks to the Hall of Fame Committee for their diligent work in selecting a fantastic class of distinguished individuals, and congratulations to all the members of the Widener Hall of Fame class of 2024. Hello and welcome to Mr. and Mrs. Wilford, Keith's son Shane, his partner Carrie, sister Sonia, brother-in-law Mark, and 18 of Keith's former Widener teammates. Sitting over there, you probably heard them. Yep. And of course, everyone's favorite trainer, AJ Duffy. So Keith asked me to present him tonight in August. And literally from the moment he asked me, I was pretty cool on the phone and said to him, of course I would present you. And of course I'm honored to do that. Hung up the phone and panic set in instantly. I've never presented anyone for an honor like this before, so I had no idea what I should say. So about 20 pages of notes over from August to about last week. I had to condense all those notes into a 4-minute speech. So I'll do my best. Here we go. So when I look through my notes, I was trying to pull from the notes a theme that would represent my memory and hopefully Keith's teammates' memories of him. And the one theme that kept coming out was service. Service to family. As many of you know, Keith transferred to Widener after spending 2 years at another institution. In today's college landscape, I could take credit for Keith's decision to transfer to Widener, as I would have recruited him out of the transfer portal. But Keith was answering a totally different call. His grandparents were living in Chester, were aging, and needed support that only a young man and young grandson could provide. In doing so, Keith would actually have the ability to save his parents the cost of attendance because he would live with his grandparents. So Keith made a decision to enroll at Widener. I never recruited him. So he made a decision to enroll in Widener totally for a different calling, service to his family. He would help his family, help his parents finance his education, and help his grandparents that were in need. Service to program. I vividly remember Peg Boyle saying, Chris, there is somebody here to see you. Keith comes to my office door and says, hi, coach, my name's Keith. I start classes in 2 weeks. Never recruited him, coached against him, didn't know him in high school. And here comes a big, strapping kid. You can see him tonight. He's actually smaller than he was in college. And so I tell him, Keith, the program is where it is. We're really trying to get it going. It's going to be a challenge. Coach, when do we begin? So from that point on, Keith begins practicing with the team, and myself and Coach Hallowell decide it probably would be better if we let Keith do his thing, and we don't have to play defense, because he would just cause turnovers and create havoc all over the field. So all of our calls that we had defensively were calls that put Keith in a position to take the ball away, which he did consistently very well. Since college, Keith has made a service to young people. His commitment to serving others has continued in his professional life as well. And at a time when today's youth and intercollegiate student athletes have just about every resource at their fingertip, Keith has risen to national prominence and is recognized for his ability to help individuals and groups make the human connection between their struggles in life and the struggles in life that everybody faces. Keith has mentored hundreds of individuals as an educator at the Friends School, Malvern Prep, St. Joe's Prep, the George School, as well as a leadership consultant for various institutions, including UMass, St. John's, Brown, Haverford, Hobart, and even the Philadelphia Union. And although coaches may call upon Keith in an effort to win games, because that's what we like to do, individual athletes quickly realize that Keith's credibility comes from his service to them. His service to them for the purpose of bringing them closer to becoming whole in mind and whole in spirit. Now, Keith's athletic accomplishments are certainly worth mentioning, and clearly his athletic accomplishments put him in the conversation to be considered for the Hall of Fame. He was a senior captain in his second year at at Widener, two-time first-team All-Mid-Atlantic Conference, MAC Defensive Player of the Year, Division III North-South All-Star, the program's first and only defenseman on the MAC All-Century team, program's first two-time All-American, and the program's first to be inducted into Widener's Athletic Hall of Fame. It's the combination of these achievements, and the lifelong commitment to service to others that qualify Keith to be a member of the Widener's class of 2024. So please join me in congratulating a world-class human being and my friend, Keith Wilford.
Can I get your hands out here real fast? Help me out. Hands out here. Yep. Can I get 3 power claps? 3 power claps. 3 power claps. 3 power claps. I appreciate y'all. It's such an honor to be out here. I think the biggest thing is being the youngest amongst so many greats that came before me. It's such a cool sensation to be such around a strong foundation. When I see all of you, it's one of those things where I never pictured myself being in something like this. If someone who struggled in school, to be in this light right now is not something that I know how to accept. So I want my teammates and my coach to sort of accept that for me. You know, when you talk about people having your back, this team had my back. When you talk about a coach who has your back, this coach had my back. So anyone who's not familiar with Chester, 14th and Potter Street is where I walked across the bridge from my grandparents at different specific hours in the night for various reasons. And they would always say, when you're recruiting a Widener, never tell your recruit to turn right, always go left. And for me, that was hard because my family was to the right. And I remember every time for my 1 o'clock class, sometimes I would attend, sometimes I wouldn't. And when I would go and I didn't attend, I would actually spend time with my grandfather watching TV. And he used to do this thing where he would kick his leg like this, and it was a way for him to show his emotion towards this sitcom that we were watching. But all of my teammates knew that at a certain point in time, when dawn came down, when the sun came down, that I had to get across back to the bridge to get back to 14th and Potter Street. So when I transferred in, I didn't know what was coming. And when I walked into this man's office, and he said, I got your back. When you talk about great teammates, when you talk about great people, you don't find anything like Coach Wakely. We played for this man because he had our back. These men out here who are, quite frankly, you probably shouldn't put lacrosse players towards the end because they've already been in the bar for a minute. But regardless, they were as loyal as you can go. And when we played, we called it the Mecca. We played in the Mecca in between the dorms. And we got after it. We would play and we had each other's back. So this is not my award. I'm just a recipient of young men and a coach who had my back. In the North-South game, they forgot my jersey. And he said, Keith, you don't need the jersey, and you don't need nobody to tell you who you are because you know what you did for this program and you know what you've done for this country and for this and for our program. He had my back. Widener had my back. And so it's with so much gratitude that these young men came out to acknowledge me. I acknowledge them because they were in it with me. I acknowledge them because they were there for me through everything. So when we talk about this Widener and we talk about the Widener lacrosse program, we talk about how intense, how much we loved each other. And so it brings me back to sort of my final point. And when I think about love, I think about the fact that generationally, my father over here, he went to Widener too. And part of the reason why I went to Widener was because of my dad and because I had the opportunity to take care of my grandparents. Shane, hard work really pays off, homie. And I'm so thankful for this award. But more importantly, I'm thankful for the man that allowed me to be me to accept this award. Appreciate y'all.